I am the Big Tank.
On the battlefield of life, nothing's harder than a tank. Yeah, have you ever met a man, hearts full of love, bigger than a tank?
Big Tank.
He served in a few wars, he's a veteran that stands for a cause. For the best interviews and news, just keep it glued to the tank.
I am the tank, Big Tank.
Tank Talk.
Tank.
Big Tank Talk.
Tank. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Big Tank Talk. Today, I am introducing the T-Man of Clapper, Mr. Sean Hintz. Sean, welcome to Big Tank Talk.
Thank you, Tank. I appreciate the invite, my man.
I appreciate you taking the time to be here. So let's just jump right in. You are part of your family's business called Steep Me Tea Apothecary.
Yes, sir.
What inspired the creation of this family tea business?
My parents, they before they started about 17 years ago in 2008, they had another business that they started called TJ's Courier, and it stood for Teresina Jerry Courier, and it was a hot shop business, a great business, but awful lifestyle. They'll admit this all day, but they partied a lot. It was 24/7. It was high stress, and they were very unhealthy. They were both pushing about 300 pounds, and they just got tired of it, honestly, and they needed a life switch. And there was another day too that they had mentioned that they went to Texas for a delivery, and they had noticed just that a lot of people just seemed very unhappy with their health, and so I don't know, they just want to make a switch.
That's fair, and you answered one of my questions about how long the business has been open. You said 2008.
Yep, 2008, and they were studying about 6 years before that. We had no idea as kids. They were doing these random business trips, and they were going, gosh, just all around the world just to go learn more about the tea side of it. And then all of a sudden, one day, they broke the news.
That's pretty cool. So, what makes you particularly passionate about the business?
Well, I'll be honest. I started 4 years ago with it, and when it came to the tea aspect of it, coming from welding and farming, it's not even that I had a big passion for it, but it was my family business. I saw the passion with my parents, and my gosh, are they passionate? And it kind of lingered on to me in a way, but until I started seeing how these teas actually work for people, and not only just people, but myself, when it came to the anxiety, depression, addictions, and so many other things, that's when I truly got the passion. But then I remember just helping my first customer with their depression. I got them on our antidepressant capsules, and I hung with them for about a year and a half, and my God, they're just different people to this day. And that's when it really clicked for me.
Okay, now the flip side of that coin. What about the business keeps you awake at night?
Honestly, nothing really keeps me awake. I go to bed, I sleep good at night, knowing that we're able to help people naturally. First of all, with their health and mental health and things like that. In the beginning, yes, I took on a lot when it came to people's depression and anxiety and their traumatic experiences. It was hard not to. People think it's just a tea store, but there's a lot of times people come in, and it's a sit down situation. Sit down with them. We figure out the root cause, and in the beginning, it was hard to not take that home with me, but over the years, I was able to figure that out. And got to stay healthy to help others.
That's absolutely true, and I like that. I really like that answer. What's your long-term goals for the family business?
Well, right now we are franchising. We decided to announce that publicly, maybe 4 or 5 months ago. And I hope that I can keep passing it down to my kids, their kids. And this is just something so unique and so new. And I think COVID had a big, there's a lot of pros and cons of COVID, but one of the pros, people really wanted to start taking a look at their health and watching what they eat, their diet, and just make a life change, and being able to offer this holistic I call it medicine, but holistic stuff. I don't know. It's just truly incredible, and I hope that we can keep doing it for many years to come.
This might seem like a silly question, or that you may have answered it. What's the most rewarding part of this job, of this tea business?
Seeing people get their health straight to where they want to be. Honestly, it's just gosh, it's an everyday thing, and I love it. People come in, and of course, we can never promise. It doesn't work for every single person, but when you have a little bit of, you have to be consistent. I always say you throw a little bit of faith in there as well too, and just seeing these people and how happy they are, that's what keeps me going.
Yeah, Sean, and I got to tell you, something I learned from my mother is the biggest part of healing for anything is believing that you're going to heal. You're going to be healed from whatever the problem is.
Yes, and no matter what religion you're into, if you're even religious, faith to me is a different aspect. It's it helps. It goes a long ways just to have a little bit of faith as well too. So I love what your mother said as well.
Yeah, it's something I've taken on myself, but I've never seen anybody work what I call the power of positive thinking like my mother does. She once had surgery on her spine where they had to go through her neck. And after the surgery, she had to wear a collar, and they told her she'd be wearing that collar for 3 months. She was out of it in 2. And that's simply because she believed that she wasn't going to wear that for 3 months, that she would be better and out of it before that she was.
I love that. And that's a traumatic surgery.
Yes, it is.
Oh, wow.
So let me ask you this. It's got to be something. What's the least favorite part of the business?
Well, right now, it's as any business owner would say these days, is a short staff side of it. Honestly, that's really Tank. That's the only thing, my man. We've been short staffed just like the rest of the world for since COVID started, and it still lingers on to this day as well. And just working a lot of hours, still trying to stay healthy myself to be able to help others stay healthy. It takes a toll for sure. But I know dang well that if I keep my head down and stay positive about it and just keep grinding, that one day the reward, is out there.
Absolutely makes sense. Makes sense to me. So, without talking numbers, just in general, is the business successful?
Yes. Even during the COVID and even now with what they call inflation and everything, I'm very blessed. We're very blessed to not only, keep the doors open, but still be able to carry on with this franchising and investing. It's doing very well. Yes.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. And I know I see the passion for it every time I see you. So I can absolutely respect that. You've already kind of answered this. You anticipate taking over when your parents decide to retire and step down?
I do. Yes, we are a family business, but not everyone in the family, they have their careers, and I'm so happy for them. I did not see myself jumping into this family business by any means, but I did without my intentions of sticking around. I ended up loving it, and I'm not going anywhere. And I am so excited to see how big this can get.
And I have to tell you, Sean, you have a light in your eyes when you're talking about your family's business. I know the aspect of helping people is something you love to do, and it's heartwarming for me to see that.
Thank you. And if you see it in my eyes, Tank, you should truly talk to my parents, man. I always tell customers that if you want to come speak to my parents, make sure you have at least an hour of free time. They are going to talk your ear off, but they are just so darn passionate about what they do, and it is incredible to see and watch and hear on my side.
I've actually seen your dad a few times, and like when you're live and he comes into the into the picture there, and you can tell he definitely loves what he does, and that's awesome.
He does. He really does. And I talked to him yesterday. I have to travel today, as I told you. We're just flip-flopping stores for now. So they traveled back late last night, but I had brought this up to them, and you're a veteran. By the way, we highly respect that, Tank. We have American flags flown in our stores. Even every franchise that has a store, franchisee, they have to fly an American flag, and that's the only flag that they can fly in that store. So we highly appreciate your service, my man. And but my dad even said, well, he's veteran and stuff, if you want, we can come do the interview with you. And he's old school like you too. He's from the farm, and he's not very big about being behind a screen, but when it comes to stuff like this and showing his passion, and he was actually willing to come do this too. So if you ever want a future interview, he'd love to sit down with you.
I appreciate that, and I may take you up on that, or specifically take your dad up on that.
Okay.
This interview, though, I particularly wanted to highlight Sean Hintz. So we're going to go that way for now.
Okay.
So let me ask you, you've been through COVID, as the business went all the way through COVID, can you still flourishing? In the event of another lockdown, is your business prepared?
Yes. My parents, they won't admit it, but they're very intelligent when it comes to saving and just prepping, truly for anything that might come. And they work their butts off to make sure that everything they get inventory wise, products, machinery wise, everything they save up and they pay for it over time, as far as instead of putting it on a credit card or whatever it might be. And I think that's one thing that kind of keeps you ahead of the game on that aspect. So
just as a reminder for the viewers, could you state your company's name again?
Yep. Steep Me Tea Apothecary.
I could remember the Steep Me. I think the apothecary is the word I couldn't remember.
Yep.
But I was trying to, because I wanted to make sure I had it right when I started this interview. So with regard to the tea business, how often would you say you learn something new?
Every day. Every day. There's always some new health coming through the door or new questions, and every day I got to go do some researching, and it's every day, Tank, truly.
That's awesome. One last question about the business before I throw maybe a personal question or two at you. If resources were no issue, how would you improve your family's company?
And what do you mean on that, Tank? Sorry.
Meaning if you had unlimited funds, unlimited resources, you could do whatever you wanted to change or improve the business, what would you do differently or to add to it?
Well, I would what I would do is very slimmingly, I would find great people with the same moral codes, same kind of heart, care in their voice to open up franchises just nationwide. Help them get debt free on it. I would just, oh man, I don't know. One of the most exciting things that I'm excited for truly is, if it does take off, it's not about the money by any means, but giving back is one of my favorite things to do. And going out to nursing homes or the hospitals and giving back to the community, things like that, Tank. I would just love to go do things all around the world like that.
Now, this question I didn't have on the list, and I apologize for it, but do you have a family, or do you have wife or kids or anything?
Nope. I always joke, right now I have 3 plants. They're all cactuses. But no, I don't have kids. I don't have a girlfriend, wife, or anything. I'm excited for the day to come that I get to be a father. Truly, it is going to be a blessing, but I'm in no rush right now. It's just an excuse, but life's pretty busy, and I don't know. I'm just hoping that maybe one day I get to the right state, city, whatever it might be, where it's more my environment, and I find the one.
I'm hoping that happens for you sooner rather than later.
Thank you.
I am a father, and there is no greater blessing in the world than to have children. So,
I really can't wait, Tank. But like I said, no rush either. But when that day comes, I know it's going to be amazing and a blessing.
So I met you on Clapper, and I've known you for a little while, and I know you enjoy singing. How long have you enjoyed singing? And I also want to point out For our listeners, you sing a variety of genres too.
Singing, I think we all, to a point, almost everybody, you know, we love singing in the car or the shower or when we're by ourselves and no one can hear us, you know. Music is just such a therapy, and it's my life. Whether I'm good or not, that doesn't matter. You know, I love singing, and one thing that Clapper did for me, I was able just to meet people like you and the Breakfast Club and stuff that, God, I remember the first time I posted a video of me singing. It was Garth Brooks' "Friends in Low Places" on Clapper, and I was so nervous, Tank. For some reason, I was so nervous. But I posted it, and after that, just getting the good feedback just from all my friends on there, and the confidence boosting from it, that's when it was really able just to keep going and pick different genres of music, but just have fun with it, you know. And there's always going to be somebody that doesn't approve. But what I did with that, every time I get a bad comment or whatever it might be, okay, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna go do another song and another song and another song, and I've just been having so much fun with it, truly. And then coming into your lives and stuff, and just the confidence too of not caring. We're just having fun, you know. And your live, I have to say, was so much fun that night, Tank. Had all our good friends in there and just singing some Randy Travis, having fun.
That is why I sing, because not because I'm any good at it, but because I enjoy doing it. So I do it, and if people don't like it, that's on them.
Yep, keep swiping. That's what I always say. If you don't like the live, keep swiping. But we just having the fun with all you guys. It was natural fun. There was no worries about people judging anything, and it's instances like that that keeps me going and just wanting to meet more people that have that same mindset of just sing, man. You know.
Right. Now, let me ask you: if there was no family tea business, what would Sean Hintz be doing?
That's a good question. Again, before I started with the family business, a little over 4 years ago now, I was welding and farming, and the welding. Just a quick little backstory on it. I got into welding after I got clean off the drugs 10 years ago, and I like to think of when I went sober, it was really eye opening. You know, I almost consider it like I started a new life, fresh start, and working in jobs like McDonald's and things like that in the past. Went to the small town, and that's pretty much all there was to do in that small town was farming and welding. And I hated it. God, I hated it for about the first month because it was something new, you know, and I just didn't know how to do it. But I remember my foreman pulled me to the side, and I was that new kid in the small town. If you ever been to a small town, you know, it can be judgy, cliquey, things like that. But I just had this weird personality that I don't think anyone had really witnessed in a small town, but it was me, and I kept going. And eventually these people accepted me, and they taught me how to weld. And I remember the day it just clicked for me, Tank. I was so happy. Welding is like an art, you know, it really is. And the second I flip down that hood and I pull that trigger, it is just me and my welder, you know, and you block out the rest of the world. And I think I would still be doing that. I did that for about 10 years, honestly, and or 9 years. And it was just so much fun to me.
I can understand that welding is one of the things that I learned to do in my working career. I was not, quote unquote, a welder. I was a industrial mechanic who could weld. But
Okay.
yeah, once you get the hang of welding, it's a lot of fun.
It is.
But it can be quite frustrating to get to that point.
Oh, it can, absolutely. And one thing I've learned with it is you never know everything. You know, there's always something to learn with it, different technique styles, whatever it might be. And I was always open to hearing someone else's. I didn't take it as criticism, you know, it was a learning experience for me. And
Right.
it's just a never ending learning thing, but also welding is always going to be a necessity as well, too. So I really do think that I'd still be into that game. And I would still go back into it. I love it.
I know you're not prepared for it, but since I know you like to sing, would you like to sing one for the listeners?
I could do that. You know, being that we're all Randy Travis lovers, who doesn't love Randy Travis, you know?
Oh, he's a legend. I love singing his songs. They're not hard for me to hit the right tones and stuff too.
No, right? Because his voice, you can take his voice in so many different ways. Still make it your original voice, but it's just so much fun with it. So here, one sec. I'm gonna do "Forever and Ever, Amen" by Randy Travis. Does that work for you, Tank?
That works for me.
All right, brother. I hope you can hear it. Let's get past this good old ad, YouTube. Get a drink of coffee. I wasn't expecting this, I'm not gonna lie. We got 1 second. There we go. Hopefully you can hear it, brother. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
All right. You may think that I'm talking foolish. You've heard that I'm wild and I'm free. Well, you may wonder how. I can promise you now, and this love that I feel for you always will be. But you're not just time that I'm killing, and I'm no longer one of those guys. And as sure as I live, and this love that I give is gonna be yours until the day that I die. Oh, baby, I'm gonna love you forever, forever and ever, amen. And as long as old men sit and talk about the weather, and as long as old women sit and talk about old men, if you wonder how long I'll be faithful, I'll be happy to tell you again. I'm gonna love you forever and ever, forever and ever, amen. I was like throw a little dance in there too, They say time takes its toll on a body, makes the young girl's brown hair turn gray. Well, honey, I don't care. I ain't in love with your hair. And if it all fell out, well, I'd love you anyway. They say time can play tricks on a memory, make people forget things they knew. Well, it's easy to see, and it's happening to me. And I've already forgotten every woman but you. Oh, darling, I'm gonna love you forever, forever and ever, amen. And as long as old men sit and talk about the weather, and as long as old women sit and talk about old men, and if you wonder how long I'll be faithful, I'll be happy to tell you again. And I'm gonna love you forever and ever, forever and ever, amen. And I'm gonna love you forever and ever, forever and ever, forever and ever, forever and ever, amen. Randy Travis.
That was awesome. I appreciate you singing for us, Sean. And that's a song I also sing, by the way.
Is it that and
Yep.
three wooden crosses too? Oh,
Three Wooden Crosses is probably my favorite song to sing.
mine too. You sang it that night and crushed it, man. Oh,
I got one more question for you.
yeah.
What advice would you give young people trying to find their way that aren't sure what they want to do?
Well, as as you get older, your maturity comes, and also your confidence comes as far as your brain growing. And gosh, so it's talking to the kids. It's one of those things where you just remind them to go be themselves. Never try to portray an image. Never try to just make people happy because you think that's what they want. Go be you. Be kind, be real, and be polite. And your good friends, your good people will follow. And also, don't be a follower. Be a leader as well too.
If I could throw one more on there, I would say find what you have a passion for and go after it with everything you got.
Reach for your dreams. Learn from failure.
One last thing, brother. I give everyone I interview an opportunity to shout out, whether it's in case of musicians or singers, a song, or people who paint a piece of work they've done. Really, it doesn't matter. You can shout out a person, your business, whatever. I'm just giving you this opportunity to do a shout out.
I love that, actually. Yeah, this is going to be a little turn here. One, I want to shout out to my family, obviously. I love my family. Without them, I would not be me today. But there is someone else that a little shout out to who has been a hero of mine for since childhood, and that would be Rob Deerdeck. Do you know who that is?
I recognize the name, but I'm not sure from where.
Yep. So the good old shows, Rob and Big, that's where it started. And then Rob Deerdeck's Fantasy Factory. There's things that my I call them my social media family on Clapper. They don't know everything about my personal life, obviously, but I like in my hometown I like to do a lot of things. Whether it's starting up a recovery running group that is called RAD. I did a Fargo skate club as well too. And that was one thing I realized when it comes to addictions and stuff is you got to kind of start at the root cause. Not that the adults like me and you don't need help as well too. That's what the RAD group is for. But if we can help the kids, just know that you can have fun without being intoxicated. You don't have to do it just because the other people are doing it, whatever it might be. So Rob Deerdeck, he opened up skate parks around LA, the hot safe spots, skate spots, and for the kids and everything. And it's just a safe spot for them to come skate and not have to be out on the street skating and get into trouble, vandalism, whatever it might be. And he has just been one of my biggest idols since I was a child. So Rob Deerdeck, much love, bro. Thank you.
I absolutely respect that. And I didn't mention it when you brought it up initially, but I will mention it now. I applaud you for beating your addictions because some people never do.
Thank you.
I have a cousin who's a recovering addict, but she was an addict for like 45 years.
Wow. And she beat it.
She finally got clean, and she's been clean for a couple of years now. So
congratulations.
I'm not going to name any names, of course, but and I doubt she'll see this interview. But if she does,
shout out to you.
I love her. So.
Wow, incredible. 45 years of addiction and still beat it. A lot of people can't say that.
No, you're right. And I applaud anyone because beating addiction is not easy. So anybody that can beat an addiction deserves to be applauded. So,
well, thank you very much for that, man. I appreciate it, man. It's an everyday thing, but having just the positive people around me that keep me strong and remind myself to be me, it's a whole different world, such a better world when you're clean, sober, and just clear-minded.
All right, my friends, this has been a peek inside the life and mind of Sean Hintz. Again, the family tea company, family tea business is called Steep Me Tea Apothecary. You are available online, yes?
Yes, sir. Steepme.com. It's free shipping on all products inside the U.S. But you go on that website, you guys. If you have any mental health, just type it in the search bar. Whether it's anxiety, diabetes, high blood pressure, type that in, and it'll pop everything up. And any questions, feel free to email us. We're open, and we'll always reply to you when we have time. And absolutely.
There you go, folks. So if you're not in the North Dakota area, you can get to steamy.com and still get your, they have a wide variety of teas. I haven't tried one yet, but I do intend to. I do have friends that have tried his teas and they swear by it. So please go to steamy.com, check them out, see what they got and how they can help you. In the meantime, if you feel like there were questions I could have asked Sean and didn't, please put them in the comments. If he can't answer them or I can't answer them, we'll figure out the answer for you together. In the meantime, like this interview and please subscribe. More interesting people like Sean that I interview every week, and I appreciate you reviewing. Sean, thank you for taking the time, brother.
Absolutely, man. I hope everyone has an amazing day. Don't forget to smile. Remember, you matter. Tank, thank you for the interview, brother.
It was my pleasure, trust me.